figured it out. Figured it out. I didn't put on my phantom power. My phantom power wasn't on, CJ. Come on. Now I was actually trying to start. I stopped doing the dual stream. It sounds like an AC. All right, 1 point for CJ. No, I started the stream, but my attention was more on upgrading the stream. Now that I'm only gonna be doing horizontal, so I haven't had time to like look into it. But I was just working on that real quick. Um, yeah, man, how you doing? It might be a quiet stream tonight. It bees like that sometimes. I think I be jinxing myself though, cause I'm so used to like if people come, they come. If they don't come, they don't come. It's like I guess they not gonna come. Nah, it's all good. Either way though, man. Been having some good conversations. CJ, do you play games? Are you a gamer? Make the pick in the chat. Make the pick. All right. Yeah, we gotta yeah, right? It could start off quiet, then can you play Legos? I don't even know how do you play Legos. I was just kidding. Okay, you do. You play four. I told you one time I was in Rocket League and I played against the same name as you. I was like, is this CJ? I destroyed him though. I was like, let me destroy him. Do you CJ, just by chance, have you ever gone to a game center or a game party? Have you ever gone to one of those? And if so, what was your experience like? The song Lego. Yeah, we got to get the stream back. I'm actually watching something in the background, a live stream right now. I'm not gonna put the audio on, but yeah, I'm just trying to get the browsers together. Is that a thumbs up on the gaming parties? Have you had a gaming party? Like, what was that like? Was it like a tournament? Or everybody got everyone had workstations. Yeah, I'm going somewhere with this, but just curious because I'm sure you got the plug. You plugged into the streets. It was a bunch of PCs, PS5. Overall, a good experience. That's what's up. Okay, yeah, that's a good sign, man. I'm working on some things right now, and it's good feedback. A lot of thoughts, but put the wine down, old man. Who's the old man? It's Tawny. It's not one. It's Tawny. It was a Mortal Kombat tournament. Oh, cool. I think that's the struggle. Is like how do you hit the games that everybody wants to play? I'm super surprised Mortal Kombat is still a thing, man. I've never I don't even know what you call it. I guess fighting games. I've never been super big on fighting games. I mean, I go back to like just to get the blood in Mortal Kombat, you had to do ABACABB on the Genesis. But like all the finishes and all that, that was cool. But I just didn't think that would last. But it's still rolling. All right. All right, let me get this screen together. Well, I don't know how long we're gonna be in here tonight. CJ, you been posting videos? Let's do a check in real quick. What's been going on with your channel, man? You don't know ABACABB? Yeah, I'm sure you don't know what that is. We didn't have blood in the first Mortal Kombat. You had to actually put in the password. One of the first ones on Genesis, you had to put in the password just to get blood. You gave a whole Jay-Z. You ready, B? It's Hove. Well, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. You're doing good. Does that translate into good progress, or you just having fun making videos? What's that like?
I would watch some channels, and before I educated myself on, sometimes people just be making up stuff. I really thought that the stuff that
I,
I was watching
I'm
on
just
YouTube was
trying
true.
to just
So
get my
that,
screens together,
I believe a
doing it
lot of people
live.
watch stuff and think that is true. It
Now this a real ass comment, right?
This is my favorite
This is a real ass. Shout out to
streamer,
Milton
by the
M
way.
for the $5 super cap. He said,
Okay, well, cool,
Lakeisha
man. Well, if
Keisha
you
did
have
something Mika couldn't even do,
you love
which is
making
get on
videos. No,
Corey's
you
show. I gotta
don't.
give you a bum.
You do? That's cool, man. That's cool that you love making videos. Do you make videos for that's Corey Holcomb. He said, "Why is that man?
That was a real ass
He's
comment,
different
man.
when it
What up,
comes
Peter?
to the
$50 cash
fashion.
capture.
Good burger. Can I take your order?" You're not supposed to know what Good Burger is, bro. Um, yeah, no. So you like making videos? Is that because of YouTube, or you enjoy cameras and making videos? Like you enjoy the process? Because I was once in your seat, a little older at the time. I was I say like 16, 17. I I was at a Boys and Girls Club, so this is going to be the Jay-Z old man story. I was at a Boys and Girls Club, and like after school program, and I was nominated for this award. It was something stupid like Man of the Year. I wasn't even a man. I was I was a young man. Um, I don't know what that means. Therian girl. So I don't know what that means. You got me beat. You got you beat too, Mr. Pick. Make the pick. What do you mean to put? I feel like you meant to put Nigerian. Um, I was 16 years old, 16 or 17, and I got nominated uh for this award. This award, it's traditional program where they have like awards just to make you feel good about yourself. So this one was called Man of the Year. How did I win Man of the Year? I think I did a lot of extracurricular activities. I was in a couple leadership programs. One was called Keystone. Keystone's still out there, a big program. I think it stands for Keeping Every Youth Strong Through One Nation Everywhere, something like that. Something to that effect. But decent leadership group, just an excuse to get teams together, give them some feeling of empowerment. The other program that I was affiliated with was empowerment, actually. Um, and then I played sports, and so I was just like all around. I was good for the community, and they gave me this award. And the benefit of that, or the result of that, the real award was I was able to go to the Christmas tree ball lighting at NBC Studios. So I went down to Rockefeller Center. I got to be very close to NSYNC. Ah! Like all I heard was people screaming. It was like the TRL effect. I was super close to NSYNC, and they did the Christmas tree ball lighting. I got to meet Al Roker, and we got to go into the NBC building, and they sat me in on I guess they had like a history of TV and film like presentation, and it I mean, at that moment I knew what I wanted to do with my life at that point. Because of that, it was just like very interesting. So I also enjoy the video making process. I struggle with it from the context of it being phone related, it having the absence of just some deeper critical components that cinematic videos would have and high quality TV production videos would have. But I still enjoy the process. So that's why I ended up majoring in mass communications and wanting to be a video editor at one point. So, but yeah, you're young and keep up the good work, man. Keep it up. Just keep doing it. Don't worry about YouTube, like the feedback. Just if you really like it, just keep doing it. And I'll give you one piece of real advice. You don't need to school to actually, if you really want to do something in the media field, like that has to do with videos, video production, just do it. You don't need to wait for anything. You don't need no degree. What I found is I went out and got a degree. And when I came home, I was competing against kids that were in high school. And that was not a great feeling. But it is what it is. When you don't know enough about fields that don't have certifications to back it up, it's like they just need workers. Sure, I knew more about it, but whoever's here on Wednesday, they're here on Wednesday. Go tape go work on a movie set and be a gaffer or a grip and just tape wires to the ground. Because that's all I was going to do anyway, was get coffee and tape wires to the ground or hold. If you ever go in Manhattan and you see like a TV show being made, your job is to like hold a mirror that's reflecting the sun. Like that's the entry level work. That might not even be entry level. Entry level is probably just getting coffee. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys made it in. Definitely not going to be on here as long as I was last night. CJ, you didn't join last night. We did a 3-hour live. You missed a good amount. Had a lot of fun. And we had some guests. So if you wanted to troll, you was going to get trolled for real last night. But it was fun. It was fun. And there's a lot of lasting thoughts in my head about maybe I should be doing that more, bringing people on. But we have some time, we got to figure this out. So right now I need to figure out how I'm going to be working this show as we march down to the last days. Okay. Katie is here late again. Hey all. I don't know if there's as many people as the letters that's in all, but I'll let the chat speak for itself. No, it's all good, Katie. I started the live a little late. I was not that I wasn't into it. I was teaching my daughter some Spanish and just language syntax and how to understand verbs and tense. So I figured that was a cool enough break for me from getting on here and embarrassing myself. So it was cool to teach her that stuff though. Just read off the poll real quick. We do have 3 votes. Wow. Is learning a second language worth it anymore? 67% says yes. All 2 of you. Google Translate your life. So there's no or maybe. Yeah, if I had to choose early on, I would say it is a mixture between maybe and Google Translate your life. I just don't. I feel like we were told growing up. I grew up in New York that we had enough people who spoke that like English wasn't their first language. So I feel like we were kind of catering to a population so that if we potentially get a job, we could help out that population. You embarrass yourself. I always enjoy your streams. I hope you enjoy this one. I don't know where it's going, really, Katie. Um, I was having fun this evening though. I've been planning or doing some R&D, or as me and my wife laugh about, sometimes we do the R and not the D. So just the research. Um, I've been researching something about like game esports and game tournaments and seeing if there's some opportunity within there. So that's been fun. It's been keeping me pretty busy. The temperatures have been really disgusting. Tonight was super cold. It's just a back and forth. I feel like I just wasn't happy out there. I just wanted to be spring. I want to feel that sunshine. I want the cool air while the sunshine is there. So it was a pretty gloomy day with gloomy thoughts. And, my plants have been in the ground now, not a week yet. I skipped my compost turn day just because of the temp. That was my excuse, the temperatures. So tomorrow I will be out there. It'll be 67, probably will hit 70 tomorrow. So I should have a smile back on my face. I'm a weird one with the sun. I still have like my eclipse glasses, and every now and then I go outside, put the glasses on, and look at the sun and realize that the sun is a circle. It's like a very clean circle in the sky, a sphere. But I do that and I just sit there and I stare at it like, this is super cool. That's really the sun. Yeah, Katie says it's cold and gray here too. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I appreciate it. It's just, I have so many different things going on, and I'm just trying to turn everything into a positive or just have some forward motion so I don't get depressed by it. Because when it's gray, it's like it's easy to get down and depressed. So I got to pick back up some discipline. I did make a batch of some seed starter mix today. Oh, make the pick. Remembered about the algebra. Good catch, man. We're going to turn this into Katie's algebraic group session. Question for Mick the Pick. When you were in school and you had to do group projects, were you the person who always did everything? Were you the person that was excited about the ideas and didn't do anything? Were you the person that was more than willing to demo, even though you didn't do anything? Or were you like in the middle? You did enough so that you wouldn't be the one that the person who did everything was talking about. It's four choices there. I think most times I did enough. I was never the worst person, so they couldn't say, "Oh, you're the problem." But I despise some of the group projects that I worked on. I don't think I learned much just by doing it in a group. Man, I really got tired vibes. I like feel tired. Okay. I made it to 27 minutes. I'm actually surprised. So it's day 79. Who did I speak to today? A little bit, Mick the Pick. We spoke. I spoke to my old coworker, and we spoke about this a little bit. And I kind of said something like, I don't have anything else to learn until I get to 100 days, but that's not true. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But tonight I found myself trying to work on just how the stream looks, and we're gonna work on improving that. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to do like a blue screen, green screen background. Class is not even started. I'm going over a study guide to remember what I learned in the past. You're surprised how much you remember. Thank you for asking. No, that's cool that you remember. I've told you guys, like, I remember a lot of, I learned things. I didn't memorize them. I wasn't forced to, like, memorize them. Man, it was a cool conversation that I had with my son that I wanted to tell you guys about. Totally forgot what that was. Because we went to baseball, and everyone had their own equipment. So coach brings a little laundry bin, and each player has their own bin where they put their stuff. And my son, he did really well today, but he was only happy because he hit the ball hard. He said everything else, like, wasn't worth it. But it was another conversation, man. I should have wrote that down. We had a really good conversation where he was misusing some words, and I continued to, like, allow him to misuse them because I didn't want to burst his bubble. Oh, I forgot. It'll come to me probably by tomorrow. Oh, I talked to Yuffie today, Katie. Yuffie was just following up and giving praise. Of course, it's always easier when you're able to talk about it. Yeah, Yuffie was giving some praise about last night's show. All your kids are precious. Yeah, they are. I had today's moments where the little guy who went to baseball, I just taken a shower, and yeah, I call him that now. So he's been my friend I've known him for 30 plus years. And I've never called him outside of his name. Well, we have a name in the chat that I call him. I call him Tiberius, which is not his name. And now I call him Yuffie. He was telling me how he had to hold back a little bit because he knew, like, he said in internet terms, he said he didn't want to get canceled. Like, you're not big enough to get canceled. Like, but he has a potty mouth. Yeah, he has a big potty mouth. So we work on that even when we're not on stream. But we did speak, which was cool. And I spoke to Missy after the stream last night, and she definitely has some good feedback. It was an awesome show. But I told these guys, like, I don't want to put pressure on them, but Katie, this is the vision that I had, and I told Mick to pick this earlier. I had this vision from the beginning about that's what I wanted to show me streaming to kind of be like, where it was more random, and I would have reoccurring guests that would come on, and they would help to kind of balance out the show, and I wouldn't be like digging for topics, um and it's hard, like, it's people, you kind of got to figure out how to commit to that. um Me, I think it's easy for me. Like, if make the pick, if you had a channel and you wanted me to come on, I'll just say, give me the schedule, tell me when you're on, and I'll be able to do it. But it's hard to expect that from others, and I think I've done a good job for them to see the vision. So I would say that's kudos to me that I've continued to do it, and we're seeing where it's going. But yeah, it's just, I'm in sort of reflection mode, and after tonight, I mean, we're gonna be at 80, 80 nights, 80 straight. That sounds crazy. I don't even think I know how tired I am. I may sleep. I may sleep that whole 101st day. Um, Yeah, I think I'm more tired than I lead on. It's definitely closer to exhaustion, but it's not the stream. It's just like life, right? Like the job, the outdoor stuff, the kids' activities. It's just nonstop, nonstop. I think tomorrow is cheerleading or tumbling or Girl Scouts or baseball or Legos. Like, God, how you can do it? Yeah, I'm not concerned with me doing it. Um, the closest thing I could tell you is I when I met my college my college coach to be. I was a struggling youth who needed a talk. Very common case. I needed a talk. I needed some proof. I believe so. Thank you for saying that. My kids say that. They don't treat me like I'm not. Um, they actually show me they're super happy with the patience that I have with them. My son was a little mad tonight because I don't know much about Fortnite, and I let his siblings play, and I think they ended his game streak, and he was upset. And I was just like, bro, if you get that upset about that game, you're not mature enough to play it right now. And he didn't handle that well. But I sat there and had like a lot of patience, and I told him, I was like, I'm using a lot of patience, and he just gave me a hug, and I was like, oh, that's all it is. Sometimes it's just a hug. Yeah, you're busy. Yeah, no, I'm super busy, Katie. It's like it, and I don't know if it's worse psychologically, physically, or mentally. I actually can't tell you which one is worse. Um, but it's my investment, and I'm investing in it to get the return on the investment. And I dream of living my years where I've installed enough in them that I don't have to be so involved, because I'm also not like a helicopter parent. Like I want them to fail. I get excited when they fail within reason. Um, but yeah, I was telling you this story about um, I was a teenager who needed some course correcting, and my a person that worked at my Boys and Girls Club was able to find the correct person that I didn't know at the time. So I'm 17 years old, and she finds this college basketball coach. At the time, he wasn't the head coach. He had got the job, but he didn't start yet. So he was doing basketball operations at Manhattan College. And he sat with me, and he said he did the thing that you do when you meet kids and you give them hope. I wish Missy was on there because she was all about the hope last night. But he just said, you could make great things out of your life. It's up to you. You can't make excuses for things, and you gotta take control of that. And he's just being generous man, guy, uh, leader, someone who has been through some adversity. He has not invested in me, Darnell. He's not invested in that. He's just doing a favor, right? And I went back and I was like, wow, you're telling me that I could eliminate all of the bad things I did just by getting on the good train, on the good foot, Mick the Pick. Just get on the good foot and we good? And I'm looking at my life and I'm like, man, but how could you've been destroying yourself, like, in the eyes of other people. And he said this one line. He's like, if you get yourself together, maybe you'll have an opportunity to play for me. That's not what I heard. What I heard was get on the good foot. What I heard was you could play at my college. I didn't hear nothing about get your stuff together. So I was taken to, like, we continued the relationship. My mentor, who's a female actually, she used to bring me to their practices throughout the season. So I'm a high school kid. I used to show up at these colleges practice. I've practiced with them just to get involved. And again, it's all like a favor. It's like, help this kid out. Help this poor little Darnell. And the more exposure I would get, the more focus I would get on moving forward and not worrying about what came behind me. And granted, there were tons of lessons along the way. But she did continue to support. And I got everything patched up and fixed. And I showed up on campus the first day of school, and coach was like, Darnell? As if he had no expectation that I would do exactly what he told me to do and get it done. And I did it. So I don't second guess my abilities. I worry about how people react to it. Because I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I don't know too many people who've been kicked out of high school, dropped out of college, and still sit here with a degree. And, it's like it's nothing. Like, oh, okay. Well, how'd you do that? I just did it. I know what it's like to mess up. I know what it's like to fix it. But yeah, and me and him, we became super close after some initial rough moments. But I loved my coach, man. He, just to be blunt, um, I didn't grow up around. I'd say people that weren't of my ethnic group. I did not, and I found it super hard. Like, granted, a lot of teachers I had, weren't black, but there's like definitely a divide and a disconnect when you have police and teachers and lawyers and whoever's involved in a lot of these professions. They don't reflect who you are. And when I got to college, here I have this guy who he's probably given up a foot to me at the time, and he would always have like a stone cold face, and he was not afraid of me, which was the scariest thing, because I didn't understand what like boxing, like not boxing, but a trained fighter. I never met a trained fighter. Boxing to me, this is pre MMA. Boxing to me is like or pre the UFC MMA. Oh, Katie, I almost did it. Katie says, you did better than me. Many years of college, no degree yet. Life gets in the way and I quit. This time I have to finish. Yeah, do it. Now, the reason why I finished, not to express to the story, but the reason why I went back was after you go through that grace period, like the deferment period, and then you have to start paying if you have like loans. I started paying the loan and I was like, you mean I'm going to have to keep paying this loan and I get nothing for it? Like, I don't have any evidence or anything that could help me to get a job. So I said, no, we need to fix that. I was in I was in a long-term relationship, and for whatever reason, when I got home is when the relationship didn't work out. So I was home, relationship didn't work out. I was like, nah, we need to go back to school and fix this. And I did it. I did it. I did it the long way, the hard way. None of it was easy. But yeah, going back to my coach, I never met someone, because of where I grew up at, who would be that like connected to me, my story, and I had to see him every day. He was an integral part of. Now, this is not the same coach that sat down with me, because the person who sat down with me had no. And I'm with you too, Katie. Good shout out, Mick the Pick. The person who sat down with me had no actual investment into me. What he had was, the community as someone who's giving back. He had the kind words to help the struggling youth to see themselves, in the youth and draw a connection. You could name a person. I've met them. I remember I was at the Barclays Center when it opened with a New Jersey Nets play, and we because I was a part of a Boys and Girls Club, we got to go on the actual court, and Drake was performing. I was like 20 feet from Drake. He's performing. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. So it's a live song. Like, it was a crazy experience. CC Sabathia is probably 30 feet from me to the left. I'm on the actual New Jersey Nets court with some friends, and you get that feeling. It's like these youth events, they bring you stars. They bring you these figures that really, you're a blip to them, if that. You may not even be a blip to them. So I've just done that time and time again where I've seen this person is supposed to say these kind things and words, but as the youth are like, all right, whatever, man. You don't know what it's like to be me. Like maybe you were me, but you really don't know what it's like today, now. And that's what I got from my coach in the initial experience. But I was needing an outlet. I was needing to correct things, and it wasn't anyone. No one holds up signs to kids and say, "You fix your life. Here's how you fix your life. We know you're a good person. We remember." What do they say when you go to parent-teacher conference? Darnell is so bright. Darnell is so bright. Yeah, you know what that means. But he will not stop distracting this class. He's so bright, though. Oh my God. His math skills are insane. So my coach, he was a weird one when I got there. He was like a fanatic. He had this like triangle pyramid approach. And I've mentioned this to you guys before. And he embedded it in me, so I embody it as well. It's like being good for your community really comes first. And the reason why that comes first is because if you suck at sports, who cares? If you suck at school, it doesn't make you a bad person. Making you a bad person is when you suck for your community. So it's probably the most important thing, right? Just being a decent person to others and, not causing a problem. It's being good for your community. So communities first, then academically. Like if I'm a student athlete, academically has to come before basketball. Why? Well, it's very simple. If I fail academically, I'm not eligible for basketball. If I fail at basketball, I am still eligible academically, which means that which one takes precedence? Academics. And that's what's going to help you, all of us, for our life. That's what they're selling. And you bought into it by going to this school. So community, academics, and then the court. And you have to do all three. You can't take off and say, I'm going to choose sports and community, and I'm going to suck at school. No. I'm going to choose sports and school, academics, and I'm going to suck at community. I'm going to be throwing F-bombs to people in the hallway. And I'm going to make people feel uncomfortable. No, it doesn't work like that. So to be in this program, you had to become all things. And a part of that was holding everyone on the team accountable. So we were in it together, because if one, it's like this. If coach creates a plan for a game, the season or a particular game, one person could do one thing that changes that plan, and all of that time, all of those man hours, the brain power, everything could be wasted, all that effort, because of one decision. And it has happened. I'll tell you guys a story. When I got to college, I was not, and I could actually create a film or write a book about this. I'll just say gracefully, I did not have a place to live, and it was too far from my home. So if you want to interpret that as homeless, you can do that. I didn't identify I didn't self-identify as homeless, but I didn't have a legit place to stay. Now that's good stuff, Mick, to pick. Your dad would make everybody show him the report card. It was bad. He sat you for half the game. You gotta get half the game. No, that's a good thing. That is a good thing, and it's really about showing the effort. I mean, how much of getting a grade is just showing up and being present and showing effort. So, if we taught that, some parents would matter. I'm sure. Absolutely. He also ate worms if we won. I am not there yet. But I love the character of the person who goes to the extreme, because extremes do work in children. They to show extremes really works. I'm that type of person as well. I wouldn't go that direction. But yeah, so my coach, he he was all about like he wasn't invested in the beginning, but once a player of his, super invested, and he want to make sure that you're focused enough that you can balance what you have in front of you. He was a Marine. Yeah, okay, I got you. I hope he knew what type of worm he was eating. He probably bred the worms so that he knew what he was eating. I gotta make a worm video, by the way. I gotta actually. I'm about to make a new bin situation for them, so might have to make that. But yeah, my coach, he just he was no nonsense, and it was hard at first because I never met a person who just there was a lot of things he didn't care for. He didn't care for where you came from. His whole thing was like, you're here now. What you gonna do? You gonna work hard? You gonna communicate? You gonna be the best person for the classroom? He didn't even care for you to be great at school. What he cared for was you being mature enough to realize that you represent the other 11 guys that's on the roster, and that your decision to mess up impacts them. That was the whole deal. It was about being a team, like really being a team. People could say there's no I in team, they're talking about stuff that's on the court. We're talking about like the decisions that I make as a husband, as a father, the decisions to do something or not to do something is what my coach instilled in me. So I was telling you guys about something that like changed our scenario. So we were in a let's call it a compromise situation with housing. It was a number of us players who were in this same situation. So we would just hang out on campus for like extreme hours. And there was this one day where a teammate of mine decided that they saw a textbook in the library. And I witnessed all of this. They saw a textbook in the library. And it wasn't theirs. And we were well aware of that. But he was a little bit older than me, which probably was the problem because he was pretty seasoned on what his next step was going to be. And he decided to go sell that book back to the bookstore. No receipt needed. He just said, I can't find a receipt. I no longer want this textbook. $150 later, he's feeling himself. Man, that was easy. To him, he didn't steal it. He just saw something that was abandoned, which it was. We were there later than anyone would be there, like we were every night. And he sold the textbook back. Now, a day goes by. We're not worried because this is just all he did was find a random textbook and he went and got like $150 for it. Security shows up at the locker room. Because when you sell a textbook back, you're filling out like something with your information. And the school had cameras at this point. So we all know, who it was. Well, somebody reported the book stolen. Because they lost it. And they reported it stolen. So you put two and two together. He didn't steal it, but he sold it. He didn't steal it from the person, but he sold it back to the bookstore. This is about September, October. The season has not started yet. And he gets kicked off the team. So the decisions that you decide to make, he got. Yeah, he got. And it was a hard, a healthy lesson for me because I can't say that at 8, I would have been 18 years old at the time. I witnessed him pick up the book. I was aware that he went to sell it back. I don't think that would have been my move. I would have been more of a turn it in kind of person. But he wanted that fast money. And he got it. He definitely got it. So there's just a carefulness, like the way that I've had to operate. But some people, I would say that was a mistake. Something worse could have happened. I mean, they let him off easy because how can he prove that he didn't steal it from the person? They could have been maybe a charge. I don't know. But yeah, it messed up the whole dynamic of what coach had planned out for the team. And we never had an incident like that again because, we were given that example. Now we've had hotel incidents where they kicked us out of a couple hotels. That's different. Yeah, going on the road, being young and going on the road and staying at hotels, it's like, okay, so you're definitely going to steal the pillows. The bus on the way home is going to have every pillow that we slept on. Don't know why, but you're going to take the pillows. You're going to have some fun fights and stories. We used to, I don't want to say the word because it's not a nice word. We used to kidnap each other. Like, if somebody's just walking in the hallway, like, everything's all good, they would prey on him, and next thing you know, he was being held captive. And when people start looking for them, we would make phone calls for ransom. So we had a lot of fun. Most of it safe fun. No one got hurt. We didn't hurt people. But that's how you grow a bond. Like I I was able to be in an environment where I was with a diverse group of people, whether that be race, age, backgrounds. You know, some of my teammates, they grew up, they had way more than what I had in my house. Let's just put it that way. And I remember one teammate I had, Kager. Never forget Kager. He he never met a black person until he got to college. That was an awesome experience because he was the cool. He just didn't. He didn't know. He had no idea like what it would be like, and he would echo it. He was like a farm boy from Vermont, um, and he was super strong. Didn't look it, but he was super strong. And you would think like, maybe he had some feelings that wouldn't sit well. Maybe he was curious. No, he was just a human. He was just Kager. Um, but then this is the other side, and I didn't really have a topic, but I'm actually enjoying talking about my old teammates. So the sad part of getting older, and when I start to realize like how lucky I am, we are, like, to be here. I have a teammate on each team that's no longer with us. And I'm only early 40s. And that didn't just happen, right? So guys that you were once 20 years old with, and one of them, that one really hurts. I had a teammate, I'll just say his first name is Brad. And when I moved where I am, I remember having a conversation with him. He was so happy because I'm a city boy. So once I got up and, going north in the state, it's good to reconnect with these guys. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, make the piss. Yes, I'm going to hit you with a heavy one. Brad, he was so happy that I was here. He asked me to like play this basketball tournament. I wasn't able to do it, but we kept in touch loosely at the time. And then time passes, right? Like we're growing families or whatever. And the thing about our relationship, though there's a mutual respect, I did not like him as a teammate. I loved him as a person. I loved him when we went to the parties and, like as a team, we were a team. And we had fun. The white guys drink beer and do different shotguns and Jaeger, and the black guys, they drink Hennessy. And I was like somewhere in the middle. Like I just love both environments, different dynamic. And Brad, he was on the bear side. And the troubling part for me was I used to practice super hard against him, like to the point where coach would tell me to stop beating him down. Because my philosophy was, coming from my former school, was like, this is how you get sharp for a game. Like you practice to play. You practice against your team so that when you play the other team, you learn the other team's plays and you learn their mannerisms. What are they good at? Do they have a post-up game? Do they shoot threes? Should you split the court on them? What don't you want them to do? What do you want to force them into? So when I got to the second school, it wasn't that strategic anymore. So I had all this strategy and I was super aggressive. But the coach, didn't have the same philosophy, and Brad was he was already at the school the year prior to me, and I just used to be really not mean verbally, but if he was being soft, I would, I would hit him. I would, just screen him hard, and I wouldn't. This is just how I operate. But we always had a great relationship and mutual respect. And a couple of years ago, Brad left us, and he left us in the way where you do it yourself, and like tore me up, tore some friends up, because you just you wish you knew what somebody was going through, and you wish that they could make the call, you know. But yeah, so I get to like reflect all the time. And the one guy that I say, man, I used to tear him up. The one dude, it's my guy. But I love him. I love speaking about him. He's a good guy. So, but yeah, it's real life, real life. But I have a bunch of other teammates. I hope one day I'm able to like reconnect with a lot of guys on here, because I got stories about them. They definitely got stories about me. I can guarantee you that. But yeah, I have another teammate who passed away from my first team, Scally. He was my guy too. So it just gives you like, for me, it gives me like perspective. You want to feel young, you want to feel free, but life be lifing, and their families, like, I could sit here and be selfish about it, but imagine what their families are going through. Like, we got friends, but the people who've watched them grow their whole life. So I just, yeah, Katie, I ain't gonna lie to you, Katie. I don't know how to articulate it. I just look at it as, when you know a lot of people, the likelihood, the percentage is higher of people who've been messed up by some things. Like, I have and this is not like let's boast about all the weird things, right? But I have a friend that has been locked up since 2002. And his earliest parole date is 2027. And like those things, they just stay. They don't go anywhere. They do not go anywhere. So it's just life, though. The more people you know, like you say, more money, more problems. The more people you know, the more things you'll like be exposed to. But I still try to take the good out of it. I'm sure Brad did all he could to be, and when it was his time, he just couldn't be anymore. So I don't blame people for their decisions. But I still have the memories. I share with people that remember these people in like good spaces and good light. So what can you do? But in basketball, it's kind of why. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he is, the guy's my childhood friend. He's one of my I would say our older siblings went to elementary school together, so I probably have known this kid since I was 2 or 3 years old, and he's doing 25 to life. So I've always said his earliest parole date, but I have no idea about the if he's in good standing, where his life is going. Oddly, I have seen traces of him on Facebook because of just where we come as a world. Um, but yeah, those you sometimes get to like, man, how did you avoid these rooms? Now I know my upbringing is a little like, I think I'm exactly where I was meant to be because I made decisions just like they made decisions. But anyone could go a little AWOL for a little while and like, not be what your family taught you to be, and you just make one mistake. It doesn't take that long, you know. It's a short time period to just change and do something and have to pay for it. So, but there's a whole line of that. I got a lot of people and a lot of traumatic events that you just sit back and say, wow. That's why when like Shadow Black is in here, a Shadow Black is still dealing. We grew up a block away from each other, and a lot of people that he's still connected to. Oh wow, wow, that's crazy, Katie. Wow, man, that's crazy. Yeah, like I was saying, like Shadow Black. I grew up famously on a building that only a block that had one building, right? So I've always gotten teased for this because usually like there's building after building after building, and my one building, like if Yuffie was here, he would be dying about this topic. Like, you mean that block that just got one building? Um, and so I don't have the opportunity to have a lot of people my age that I hung out with. Like, my building was like my building. Like, I was the man of my building. And but Shadow Black, he's on a block with like 8 buildings, 9 buildings. So then that's 8 buildings. Each building has 5 floors. Each floor has 4 apartments with families living in it. Tons of people. And so because of that, all the drama that happens with those people that you know growing up, and you're somewhat connected to it, even if it's just in passing. So I have seen him, have to deal with, what's going on. Yeah, I wouldn't understand her either. Was she on something? Like what? That's a tough one. Did she have like a very public case because of that? That's crazy, man. I don't know how people do that, but I guess the human brain is capable of so much, good and bad. Yeah. I mean, one day I just want to, like I was talking about Brad, and I was getting a little emotional, but like one day I wish I could honor him. It doesn't sit well with me though, because I've been telling the story for years. I used to beat this kid up, man. I used to, I was I was a tough cookie, and oh, history of addiction. Okay, makes sense. But yeah, one day I just want to honor. I want to honor people like that. It's too, I don't know if it's too late, but even for the living, just to share, because I have friends where it's like it's a topic that doesn't come up, or you could tell people haven't really grieved it. It's just like, man, because it's hard not to when you have like classmates. Like I was telling you a couple weeks ago, I had my one of my first classmates passed away last year, and I thought it would have happened a long time ago. He changed his life around, but he was a pretty reckless kid. His name is Jason, and but it makes you. I haven't seen Jason in over 20 years, but it makes you reflect on, like, at one point you was right next to this person, learning everything together, learning my second language, geography and English and math, and you joked and you teased with this person, and then life happens and you become an adult. I think he did have a kid or two, and we have families, and then when you hear this news, it brings you right back to being with that person. It's like, damn. I guess that's it. I guess we've reached that age. One of I don't know how I ended up talking to this person, but he was supposed to be helping me out. Like, people get off on saying they're like, I'm mentoring people, I'm giving people the game. And I remember talking to the guy on the phone. I don't know how I got in touch with him. Somebody reached out to him and was like, maybe you could mentor this young guy. But the one thing that I remember he said to me that made so much sense, and I've heard other renditions of it. He said, in your 20s, it's about life, like living. Your 30s, it's about death, like dealing with people around you, parents, grandparents. And then he said, in your 40s, it's about health. And for me personally, it's been right on. 20s were awesome. 30s, that death started to creep in, the two stories that I just brought up. And there's plenty of more along the lines of that. And then 40s have been more like health. And just, needing to refocus and realign and figure out the next chapters. So, that line, there's no perfect messengers, but there are perfect messages. So I just took it like that. Like, the guy was trash, but when he said that one thing, I was like, yeah. I've had plenty of people like that in my life. But I just take that one little piece of what they said and throw away everything else. Everything else could go. But yeah. So guys, I'm not doing a dual stream anymore. Just to give you an update. I'm at the moment content with just doing horizontal. We'll just keep it like that. I'll be, when it starts to get a little bit, the sun comes out again. If the sun will come out tomorrow, I'll start getting back to trying to grow the channel through the vertical streams from my phone. But I don't think I want to sit down at a desk. I'm going to start trying to improve what the open studio stream looks like and get back to like some of the ideas and guests I was really inspired by last night. So I want to, start planning and being more intentional with that type of stuff. And even if it's not, even if it doesn't, if it's a small group, like, it's been tonight, but it's actually been really awesome tonight. Even if it's a small group, do a better job of making clips of that stuff and putting that stuff out there and using that as a secondary vehicle to grow the channel, and not, not get frustrated with that. Um, but look, we've been here for an hour and 20 minutes, and I literally had nothing to talk about. So, Darnell just talking. Some point, my mom is gonna come back in here. I remember my kids always tease me about, I guess a little more than a year ago, I was streaming on horizontal and I had no knowledge of like vertical streams. I thought you come on here and people just come in. Not the case. And I was all excited. I think I used to like review some of the it was kind of open studio. I like would review some of the stuff that I filmed like outdoors, just to see if people would come in. And then I think one night I had like prepared like a Sanford and Son clip, and I was doing, which I kind of think was a pretty good idea. There was this one episode of Sanford and Son where the Spanish guy, he had like a goat, and it was all this like relevant cultural interaction where Fred Sanford and the Spanish guy and Fred Sanford's son Lamont was like trying to tell him be open mind, and the American perspective was like you need to go back to your. It basically was what we're dealing with in the world, and it had like a lot of overlap with that. And so I decided to like bring that to the stream, and I'm there by myself, and I'm just trying to make the best of it. And then my mom comes into the chat, and just like I don't want to say she's old because I don't think she's super old, but my mom's in the senior category, and she's disconnected, and she treated the chat like it was a direct message. So now it's me as a talking head, and when I read messages like, "You're doing a great job, son. You keep going." And I told my kids, I was like, you don't know how discouraged I was, because the only person who was on the stream was my mom. But we're way past that now. She's definitely come in a time or two, so. But yeah, she's super supportive. Like I said, my mom is the one who put the ball in my hands, not my dad. My dad never played sports. My mom is the one who put the ball in my hand, and she's super supportive of what I'm doing. Like it doesn't take much to for her to get the vision. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. So she's welcome. I know she doesn't come back. Maybe she's heard me tell the story before. It's like, did I do something wrong? Like, no, Ma, but let other people talk before you turn this into a whole DM. Like, what you gonna be? She said something about, did you cook tonight? I was like, come on, Ma. And when I read the chat, it looked like I was living in my mom's house. That's what I told my daughter. I was like, it looked like, when I read through it, it was like I'm in my mom's house. And there's nothing wrong with that. But based on the content that I post, there's a lot to be, there's a lot to be investigated. Oh, he got them chickens on his mother's land. You are not lying. Moms will be moms. I agree, McThePick. I agree. But no, she's cool. I would love to bring her on and talk. I think it's she has a lot to say. She's a colorful person. We could do a unique sports show where So remember, I was asking you earlier, make the pick about bowling. My mom is the bowler. Actually, she's bowled in a league more than any of my like my father, my uncle, my grandfather. My mom is the one who held on to bowling. Um, so she could do a sports show with me because she watches every Knicks game, Nets game, um, Yankee games. She's all on it. Uh, she wouldn't. I don't think she would care about the viewership, but it would suck if a show like that couldn't pop. Like, come on. But yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. Well, I gotta say a big thanks to you guys. I really appreciate you guys for hanging on and hanging out. Um, you made it an awesome show. I it's really crazy to me to think that having two great peoples could really like make the show. Because when I first was doing this, I'm thinking that number had to be way more, you know. But no, it doesn't. And yeah, we're one step closer. So I'm gonna go. We don't have to cross midnight tonight. I think I could just do one good evening, good night. It's over. Unless Shadow Black comes in here and tells me to catch him up on the whole show. I gotta reach out to Shadow Black too offline. I haven't seen him much, and I want to make sure that he's okay. I gotta do a wellness check with him just to make sure everything is okay. Um, Other than that, I really appreciate you guys for joining. We could get out of here tonight. We'll miss this when you are done. I don't think I'm gonna be done. I don't think I'm gonna be done. I honestly, Katie, I really feel like I like doing it. I just need to frame it better. Um, I think last night I'm still digesting. I think, see, like one of the problems in my life is that social interaction is minimal, and this provides me social interaction. I need it to be slightly richer form. I don't know if I'm gonna take a break. I just don't want to do like a long show that um doesn't have constraints. I think I'm still in the category where there's no constraints. So even just taking a break from holding myself accountable to the number, right? That's where the struggle is. If I come on for 10 minutes and we chopped it up, or I was able to come on and then I'm having a chat with somebody else and I could sit back. But I remember there's been shows where like I'm watching something, I'm over here I got the other screen going and I'm watching something. I'm just like this. And eventually it's like, oh, well, brother, you're the only one on the screen, so that's not the funnest thing, you know? So, look, you guys encourage me. I like that it's part of the routine. Some would call that entertainment. But yeah, no, I actually don't feel like I have to stop. I have to stop having a goal and not enriching what this is, because once we enrich it, you'll get a purer form of it. We're actually getting exhaustion. So you guys are watching me like work through exhaustion rather than like it really being fun and intentional. And you like, so the difference is, if we did a show and it was a theme for a certain day of the week, you guys would know when we're mid show. You'd know when the show was wrapping up. I've left this thing open-ended. And I come on, like many people who stream or content creators, and they say, we're not going to be on here long. And then they just kind of roll into a topic. I don't necessarily want to do that show every night. I want to actually have, even if I end up doing a sports show, it's in my nature to take one topic from here and then end up over there. So I think it'll still be me that's doing it, but I just wanted to be more intentional and not feel like I didn't achieve the goal. Don't expect a YouTube plaque, but 100 straight, days of streaming is really important. And for me, to me, and that's all that is. But yeah, we're not going away. I could guarantee you that. And there's things cooking. There's things cooking in the oven, and I'll keep letting you know a little bit more, Katie. Right now it's really me looking for something part-time that is a part-time business that I could run, and it's something that I could share on YouTube. And when I get to a point where it makes sense, I'll be more verbose about that. But thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you hanging out. When I play this, that's a real good night. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace. I'll be in the chat though. I never really questioned. This tree has not produced as of yet. It's a Nanking cherry, and I never really questioned who was gonna do the work. I don't think I have too many questions anymore. I just hope what they do helps. It seems like they're the only ones working this morning. Early spring. Hopefully we get some cherries.
It ain't my fault you're not subscribed. Oh my gosh! It's not easy!
Oh my gosh! It's not season! It's thaw season. It's thaw season.
Yes.
The final frost. Ooh, it's cold out here. What is this?
It is a wood chipper.
A wood chipper! No, it's not!
Just tell us.
How about you guys read?
Oh. And the ancient cider press.
Cider press. Home food.
Peaches. Chokeberry. Bush cherry. Currants. Chestnut. Limelight.
Yeah, we made it back home, y'all. They used to hang, this is where they hang like the Christmas decorations from. What store? Behold!
The peanut.
Let's get the content. That's right. Let's get the content.
You hate down here, right? Yeah, yeah.
Right. Alibi.
Got it.